Merry Christmas to all of us, except for maybe Matt Gaetz and his wife, who is supposedly still standing by her man. Several different websites are reporting on this news. We got Fox News reporting. I mean, all of them are actually reporting. And we're going to dig into this from multiple different fronts. It's probably going to take me parts 1 and 2 to talk about all of this. This is the NBC one. House Ethics Committee releases report on its investigation into former Representative Matt Gaetz. The House Ethics Committee Monday released its report summarizing the investigation into former Representative Matt Gaetz, who vacated his seat days before the report was expected to initially be made public. A woman told the committee she saw Gaetz at a party having sex with a minor, her lawyer told NBC last month. And right here, this blue, they made it a hyperlink for us to go directly to the report. All of the news outlets are going to be reporting on this, but you can go directly to the report yourself. Here are the contents of it. They're talking about what the federal laws are, the Florida state laws, the different standards of conduct for the House people. And then right here, the allegations, the findings. They actually have a picture of like how much money was paid for what and all of that in this report. So you can go find all of that. I'm not going to go over the whole report. This man was using Venmo and PayPal to pay for stuff with these women. And obviously, those things are trackable. And so it says the committee records indicate that Representative Gaetz was in a long term relationship with Woman 1, and therefore some of the payments may have been of a legitimate nature. However, as discussed below, Woman 1 asserted her Fifth Amendment right when asked whether the payments to her from Representative Gaetz were for sexual activity and or drugs, or for her to pass on to others for such purposes. Based on that assertion combined with the evidence received from other sources, the committee found substantial reason to believe that most of these payments were for such activity. I'm going to start right here with the second paragraph. Many of the women interviewed by the committee were clear that there was a general expectation of sex. One woman who was paid more than $5,000 by Representative Gaetz between 2018 and 2019 told the committee that 99% of the time that Representative Gaetz and I were hanging out, there was sex involved. And this part highlighted in yellow. Text messages obtained by the committee show that Representative Gaetz would also ask women to bring drugs to their rendezvous, in some instances requesting marijuana cartridges and repaying the women directly, but in other cases requesting a full complement of party favors, vitamins, or rolls. I don't know what rolls are. Representative Gaetz sent one woman several $100s for marijuana cartridges. One woman stated that with respect to the 2018 Bahamas trip, myself and Representative Gaetz' then girlfriend brought drugs with us, and I do know that Matt supplied his then girlfriend with money. Another woman said that she brought cocaine at least to one event with Representative Gaetz, and that she witnessed him taking cocaine or ecstasy on at least 5 occasions. Mr. Greenberg told the committee that he would typically provide drugs such as ecstasy for events he attended, and Representative Gaetz would pay him back in cash. Several other women observed Representative Gaetz to be under the influence of drugs. Additionally, nearly every witness interviewed observed Representative Gaetz using marijuana. Now, this name, Mr. Greenberg, pops up several times. All right, so I'm going to come back to Mr. Greenberg in just a moment. It says Gaetz may have paid women for sex and drugs, although the committee could not determine the specific dates or locations for all of them, to the extent Representative Gaetz paid money to women in connection with those trips. At least some such transactions are reflected in the chart discussed in the prior section. One of the women that Mr. Greenberg met on seekingarrangement.com and introduced to Representative Gaetz in or around March 2017 became Representative Gaetz' girlfriend when he was almost 35 and she was 21 years old. Their relationship continued for over 2 years. The relationship was not exclusive, and the committee received evidence that Representative Gaetz' then girlfriend sometimes participated with him in sexual encounters with other women who were active on the website or otherwise involved in sex for money arrangements. The committee also obtained text messages where she appeared to act as an intermediary between Representative Gaetz and the other women he paid for sex. She herself was paid tens of thousands of dollars by Representative Gaetz over the course of their 2-year relationship. She stated, Matt always paid for anything for me. However, she invoked her Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination in response to several questions, including what the purpose of specific payments was, whether Representative Gaetz ever paid her money for sex, and whether she was aware that Representative Gaetz paying others for sex. She also invoked her Fifth Amendment privilege when asked to explain an increase in payments from Representative Gaetz in 2019, whether any of the payments from Representative Gaetz were related to drugs or whether payments she received from Mr. Greenberg were related to Representative Gaetz. And I told you I'm going to come back to Joel Greenberg in just a minute to explain his relationship to Matt Gaetz. But these are screenshots from messages. All right, so this says messages between Joel Greenberg and 20-year-old female. If you have a friend that is down, perhaps all 4 of us can meet up later. Do you party at all? Oh, that's perfect. I have a friend who introduced me to the website that I could bring. She's very pretty, great personality. I usually do $400 per meet. Does your friend use the website as well? And yes, I do like to go out sometimes. In green, very cool. Yes, he understands the deal. What does your friend look like? $400 is not a problem. Are you both old enough to drink? And then over here, so what do you have in mind for tonight? Post a picture of Matt Gaetz right there saying, Joel says, that's my friend. And then in gray, she says, ooh, my friend thinks he's really cute. And then Joel Greenberg says, well, he's down here only for the day. We work hard and play hard. Have you ever tried Molly? Evidence reviewed by the committee shows that on several occasions, Representative Gaetz met with the woman who corresponds with Mr. Greenberg in these messages. He continues to follow her on social media and has paid her more than $2,000 since late 2018. Here's a different article titled, House Ethics Report Finds Substantial Evidence Gaetz Violated Florida's Statutory Rape Law. Since we're talking about Joel Greenberg, I'm skipping towards the end of this. Investigators noted that while the former congressman has suggested that the allegations against him had been manufactured and had called into question victim A's credibility, the committee found no reason to doubt the credibility of victim A. The report details that between 2017 and 2020, reports obtained by the committee shows that Gaetz paid nearly $100,000 to 12 different women and to Joel Greenberg, his one-time close friend, who in 2021 pleaded guilty to numerous crimes, including ex-trafficking victim A. So then that's Joel Greenberg. I clicked this hyperlink right here, and it took me to this article. Gaetz ally expected to plead guilty and cooperate with investigators in ex-trafficking probe. And this was back in 2021. Starting right here, Greenberg does not directly name Gaetz in the papers, but he admitted that he and others who are not identified in the document had paid a 17-year-old girl for sex and that he introduced the minor to other adult men who engaged in commercial sex acts. Greenberg will plead guilty to 6 of 33 federal charges he was facing, but the government states they reserve the right to prosecute him on other charges if he violates any terms of the cooperation deal. It's wild that this man pled guilty. This man is a known associate of Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz is still out and basically, trying to stop this or squash this report from coming out, to the point where he was seeking to put in a restraining order to halt the release of this ethics report. Obviously, that did not happen because we are looking at the report currently. Stating right here his argument. The filing accuses the committee of an unconstitutional attempt to exercise jurisdiction over a private citizen through the threatened release of an investigative report containing potentially defamatory allegations in violation of the committee's own rules. Now, I say that these are actual crimes that need to be substantially investigated, so I'm glad that they actually did release it. Now, I'm going to create a part 2 because we do need to continue to hit this from a few different angles, but go ahead and join in. Let me know what you think thus far. So here's Matt Gaetz with his wife, Ginger. So they got married in 2021, and his former associate, Joel Greenberg, pled guilty to ex trafficking in 2021 as well. So that's not strange at all. I'm just throwing that out there, just throwing those dates out there. Who is Matt Gaetz' wife, Ginger, the woman proudly standing by her man amid these ex allegations? Gaetz' 30-year-old wife, Ginger, describes herself as wifey in her Instagram profile. And like I said, he married his girlfriend. I got it circled. This was back in August 2021. So this is when he was still in office. It says U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida eloped to Southern California, marrying his girlfriend Ginger Lucky on Saturday in a small ceremony on Catalina Island. The controversial 39-year-old Republican, who is under investigation as part of an ex-trafficking probe, announced the wedding on his personal Twitter page. He exclaimed, "I love my wife," along with a photo of them together, he in a sports coat, she in a white dress. Vanity Fair reports that Sergio Gore, a former staffer for Senator Rand Paul, performed the ceremony that was attended by about 40 people. The couple had previously announced that they would marry next year. And this is coming back into right now because you see his age changed. Her supported post about Gaetz, who's 42, signaled an intent to stand by her man as he battled the sex allegations from his past. She also stood by him after he announced he was withdrawing from the process of becoming Trump's next attorney general. The end of an era, Ginger quickly posted on Instagram minutes after her husband's announcement, sharing a photo of the couple walking hand in hand up the steps of the Capitol. She added, "No one loves America more than this guy." Here is a post from Matt Gaetz. He said, "The Biden-Garland DOJ spent years reviewing allegations that I committed various crimes. I was charged with nothing, fully exonerated, not even a campaign finance violation, and the people investigating me hated me. Then the very witnesses the DOJ deemed not credible were assembled by the House Ethics to repeat their claims absent any cross-examination or challenge from me or my attorneys. I've had no chance to ever confront any accusers. I've never been charged. I've never been sued. Instead, House Ethics will reportedly post a report online that I have no opportunity to debate or rebut as a former member of the body. In my single days, I often sent funds to women I dated, even some I never dated, but who asked. I dated several of these women for years. I never had any sexual contact with someone under 18. Any claim that I have would be destroyed in court, which is why no such claim was ever made in court. My 30s were an era of working very hard and playing hard too. It's embarrassing, though not criminal, that I probably partied, womanized, drank, and smoked more than I should have earlier in life. I live a different life now, but at least I didn't vote for CRs that F over the country." Okay. So that is what he said. He's out here partying hard. He's living hard. He's drinking. He's womanizing. So that's what he admits to. But at least he didn't vote for a continuing resolution to keep open the government. Okay. All right. I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles and what hill you want to die on. I like going over to the conservative subreddit. It's easy to compile what these people are saying. And I took myself off of Twitter. So I will just go over to this subreddit and see what they're saying. Jean Jock says, "Now, do the rest of Congress. Unseal the Epstein client list. Expose all those on the Congress slush fund for paying off those who charge sexual harassment." So deflect. Let's get off of Gaetz really quickly. And that was literally the very first comment, to deflect. Verninator says, they have a slush fund for these hush cases, right? Amazing how the taxpayers get to pay off their misdeeds. Where's our slush fund? Why do our leaders get to hide and fund their sins and we're not above the law? Our federal government is completely messed up. So let's continue to take the attention off of Gaetz, and let's just make it all about everybody that is making any mistakes, and let's just act like they're just paying for everybody's mistakes. Like this man, like we don't need to highlight this man. Okay, Park Effective says, completely and utterly unsurprising. Having Gaetz out of Congress is a wonderful thing. We need to clean up our party and get anyone like Gaetz out of it as quickly as possible, as they are nothing but a stain upon it. I shudder to think what George Washington would say if he were to witness someone like Gaetz' putrid character representing decent Americans. This person, Soul Patrol, says, I would be really happy if our representatives could just keep it in their pants. Sure, grown adults should be able to do what they want with with other consenting grown adults, but it rather ticks me off that once these people have a little bit of power, they start sticking their pins in everything and then are surprised when they get slapped with scandalous charges later down the line. Politics is a cutthroat business, but the people want their politicians to be upstanding, and those two things aren't exactly compatible. However, if these people want to go far, it would be best if they at least tried to maneuver both. Mars Natty says, I really hope people realize we don't have to die on this hill defending this guy. So this person has some sense. California King says, the DOJ didn't find this. Camel Animal says, this is the part that gets me. There's an actual investigation, and the primary witness was found to be not credible, and the alleged victim wouldn't work with investigators. Maybe Mads really is as guilty as people claim, but even the DOJ can't make the case stick. I could get on board if these kinds of investigations were a precursor to charges being filed, but they're not. I'm glad Gaetz is out. However, he's still innocent until proven guilty, and this whole thing feels more like a smear than people seeking justice or morality. Okay, this one. And why aren't we investigating Kamala Harris for illegal drug use? Why stop at Gaetz? We've all seen how high she appears in many of her appearances, and she is in a much higher position as vice president than Gaetz ever was. Show me the man, and I'll show you the crime. They could investigate everyone in government with this same vigor and probably find hundreds of top officials have used illegal drugs. Deflect. George Washington says, I've seen people in other places saying 17 is legal in Florida, which I'm not even sure if that's true or not. I couldn't find anything confirming it or that she used a fake ID. I'll just say that I don't care. If you're in your 30s and 40s and paying a 17 or 18-year-old for sex, you're a sicko. Legality and ethics, morality don't always match up. And that is what some of the people over in the conservative subreddit are saying. I do want to know what you are saying. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.